Back to Text Talk with Text Guru. This is a proud presentation of Vikas Garg, CPA PC, whose headquarters is located in Ashburn, Virginia. Here on this set, the host is Prab, who questions CPA Garg about the meals and entertainment under the new law. Let's join these two gentlemen in their question-answer session.
Morning, Vikas. How are you?
Good morning, Prab. How are you doing?
How is the season going?
Season was good, hectic, relaxing now.
Okay.
It's over.
Okay. Thank you for taking time today from your busy schedule. Viewers, we have Mr. Vikas Garg here, CEO of VGCPA. Today we're going to talk about something that interests me and a lot of our viewers, because we've been having these meetings, and especially IT companies, we're very concerned about the tax reform and especially the meals and entertainment deduction.
Yep, that's a hot topic.
Whether, how is it going to play out with the new reform coming in? If it's, do we have a chance at all to claim deduction? What's going on?
Okay, so let me just give you some background about the meals and entertainment.
Right.
If we go back in 1960s or 1950s,
right,
that time meals and entertainment expenses are 100% allowed.
Right.
Whatever type of. Then slowly in 1960s, the law was passed, they reduced to 80%, and then came to 1970s, they reduced to 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Now with the Trump administration on December, they changed it to some is still 50% allowed, some is fully disallowed. So technically what it used to be earlier, some of the meals and entertainment was used to be allowed 100%, some were 50%. So whatever was allowed as a 100% reduction, now it reduced to 50% reduction. Whatever used to allowed as a 50% reduction, now it used to be 0%, so they cannot take it. So simple thing is, now the people are confused, which meals are allowed 50%, which is not allowed, can I claim it?
Right.
Yes, there is still many of the expenses you can still claim, and go ahead and claim it. So let me give you some of the example. So let's say if you have the office staff meeting, they are coming to your office, they are having a lunch during the office hours.
Right.
Yes, you can go ahead and still claim as a deduction, but it's now 50%.
Okay.
Earlier it used to be 100% deduction, now we are saying it used to be 50% deduction. So any meals served in the staff.
Right.
And let's say if you go with any business promotion meeting, you give some tickets to any of your customer, any of your employees for baseball game, and they go and entertain it.
Right.
Those all expenses used to be 50% allowed.
Right.
Now they are 100% disallowed. So you cannot take those deductions anymore now.
So let's take, for example, so we have a lot of holiday parties that have happy hours. Now these happy hours are part of not just having fun, but it's part of a business meeting, right? And these are not from my normal 9 to 5. It happens after hours. Earlier we would put these into meals and entertainment. How does that classify right now?
Okay. So simple thing is, every year, like during Christmas and during New Year, most of the corporate organize their holiday party, annual event. Okay. So whenever you are organizing these kind of parties now, it's kind of again entertainment expenses, which will be 100% disallowed. So you need to look at how much the food expense that will be disallowed. So anything, and now second part is, you need to see who is coming into your holidays party. If your holiday party is mostly your customers are coming, it will be treated as a business promotion. They may not be allowed. If you have towards the employee side, if most of the employees are coming, you can say it's still employees entertainment, and it can be 50%, it still can be allowed. So you need to make a strategy, who is coming, who is not coming, and plan accordingly to claim it.
Okay. So there's a confusion for me and a lot of IT companies related to per diem, right? So we have employees, consultants traveling, and there's a per diem allocated by state, and there's a maximum limit of per diem that a company can give.
Right.
Now, how does that change in terms of what is travel bucket, what is the meals bucket, what is meals and entertainment bucket?
Okay, so let me just talk about this IT consulting firm, where a lot of the consultants are visiting to the client location, and the companies like IT consulting firm or many of the other consulting firm, they are paying the per diem or meals reimbursement to them. So let's talk about fixed per diem. Okay, many times you are giving $180 per day or $200 per day. So most of the time, if you look your rates, it has a two component. What is lodging and boarding? One is the meals. Most of the state, if you compare as a percentage, you can see the 25%. Okay, that 25% meals used to be allowed at the 100% reduction till 2017. Now with the new laws, they're saying the meals and entertainment expenses will be 50% allowed. So whenever you have those expenses, just make sure you segregate it per diem rate. See how much is the travel and boarding, how much the meals. Take the meals portion and only 50% will be allowed. Don't club anything into the one bucket.
Okay.
Then many of these companies need to make sure they're reclassifying their heads now.
Right.
Earlier they were not reclassifying, they were just showing one line item as a per diem. That's what we used to say.
Right.
So nobody was bothering because it was 100% allowed.
Right.
Now it's only some portion is 50% allowed.
Right.
So you need to make sure you segregate it properly. So
Right.
that's one of the things. Second thing is, if let's say your consultant are outgoing,
Right.
they're not staying overnight,
Right.
but they're leaving in the morning 5 o'clock.
Right.
You are giving the hotel accommodation to them, and you are paying the meals.
Right.
It's not. Sometimes you can pay per day meals to them. Sometimes you are reimbursing actual expense. They give you the bills.
Yeah.
You reimburse it.
Right.
So all those meals are again 50% allowed. So you cannot take a 100% reduction.
Yeah.
So whenever you are taking those meals, so you need to segregate it. So in your accounting books now, there should be
Another
two
line
meals,
item.
2 meals for every travel. Okay, meals which is 50% allowed, meals which is not allowed.
Okay. And this kicks off from tax year January 1st, 2018.
January 1st, 2018. So many of the people, many of the accountants may not be segregating it.
Right.
At the year end, when you come with the 2018 tax filing, when it comes to 2019,
Right.
that will be a big headache for them. So
Right.
then you need to go back, okay, and research every meals. So after, let's say, in the month of January, you spend something.
Yeah.
After 6 months, if you ask, okay, with whom you went.
Right.
If you don't put the proper notes, nobody remembers.
Right.
Or sometimes employee went to somewhere,
Right.
you reimburse it.
Right.
He left the company
Right.
without notes. It's tough for any accountant or any organization to know that. So you have to make sure you are doing all the notes upfront to make sure you can claim at least 50%.
Got it. Got it. So I have another question, and this could be specifically towards IT companies that does training services, right?
Okay.
So we as a company, we do a lot of different training services, Salesforce, PMP. Now we charge the trainees an X amount. Let's say, take for example, $1,000,
Okay.
right? But as part of that package, now we give meals and entertainment for PMP related. So there's food, there's dinner. Sometimes there's we get coffee. Sometimes it's part of just a group gathering for additional speakers to come. So there's cost associated to food and drinks.
Okay.
Now, since we are charging $1,000, how do we then claim meals and entertainment?
So simple thing is, as of now, if let's say you're running the IT consulting firm,
Right.
and you have all these meals and entertainment, your students are coming for the training, you are providing a lunch during
Right.
that training hours. Or if training is at evening time, you are providing a dinner,
Right.
because it's like 7 or 8 hours.
Right.
That's the question.
Correct.
So simple thing is, when you're providing a meals now, so it's only 50% allowed. There's a two-way. What if you want to take it full till 2017, there was no issue. That meals was allowed as a 100% reduction. So you can collect as a one lump sum fees of $1,000 or something.
Right.
Now what you can do, you can segregate your fees. You can say my fees is $900. Let's assume you make a total of how much your food costs, $100 per person. So you say, okay, whenever you're collecting the fees from the students, you
Right.
can say, okay, my training cost is $900, $100 is reimbursement for the foods.
Okay.
Okay. So you are taking the money
Right.
from the student in the name of food, and you are giving directly to the food provider,
Okay.
to the restaurant.
Okay.
So when you go to the bypass, this is not your expense. This is, you are collecting the money, you are giving to somebody.
Okay.
So this way you can bypass,
Okay.
and you can still basically there's no so your income will be $900, and there's no meals and entertainment disallowance for you.
Okay.
So that's the best strategy. I will recommend you should use it
Okay.
for all the training and everything. But it again is going to depend on individual scenario.
Correct.
We cannot say it's a hard and fast rule,
Right.
but you need to make sure you have proper documentation, proper justification. When you're saying $100,
Right.
your calculation, you should support some calculation behind this.
Got it. So I have a similar question, but in a varied line of infrastructure IT, right?
Okay.
So we have disaster recovery teams,
Okay.
backup teams, server maintenance teams, and their working hours are always odd hours because they're online 24/7. So say a company sets up a cafeteria of sorts,
Okay.
which is an everyday meals,
Okay.
right? Every day they have not just food allowances, but they actually served food.
The
right?
actual meals in the
Actual
office.
meals in the office, because we have a cafeteria set up, we have coffee set up, coffee station set up, and whatever they need. And if there is a production, release production, so it's just not dinner for them, but it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So this is a big part of our business expense, right?
Okay.
For disaster recovery infrastructure, which we actually tie up back in the day as an expense, right? Is that also going to be catered under meals, or is that going to be business expense
Okay.
now?
So simple thing is, what the requirement it is, if you need to hold employees in the office premises, okay, to support your office function. You don't want your office function to be disturbed.
Right.
Okay. As you mentioned, disaster recovery.
Right.
And the disaster recovery, anybody who's maintaining the live server, something, the person has to be there. They cannot leave it. Many times, if even like say 5 minutes shut off. Let's say whenever you go to any government organization, if you see we are out for 10 minutes, it feels panic. Oh, why these organizations are down for even like the banking. So you need your employees to be 24 hours there. Okay, they can't leave their main job. If you're providing a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that parts come as a necessity, not as a business promotion. So those necessities are still allowable, but at 50% bracket.
Okay.
So earlier it was used to be 100%
100%.
bracket, now 50%. And second thing, as you just talk about lunch breakfast. Okay,
Right.
let's take second scenario. We saw in DC area many of the companies, they are giving full lunch to their employees.
Correct.
Employees are coming, they are having the lunch and everything inside. It's part of normal business practice.
Right.
So if you keep providing regular food to
Right.
the employee in the office premises,
Right.
that is still come under 50% deductible.
Okay.
Okay, let's come with a different scenario. You have a meeting, any meeting where the clients are there, you have some deadlines. You're asking your staff, stay in my office. Okay, I'll order the food, because when employees go outside to eat lunch, they're taking the 1 hour lunch. Okay, so you're in the middle of meeting and you are continuing something, you don't want meeting to discontinue. Otherwise, once meeting is hold for some time, after 1 hour, you need to restart it, you need to recap it. So basically, you left the momentum. So to keep the momentum going on, you are ordering the food and bringing the food inside the office premises.
Right.
Okay, so whenever you are ordering the food inside the premises and your employees are eating, that is still allowable as a 50%.
Okay.
Okay, let's take some different scenario on the same side what you mentioned.
Right.
Let's say one of the client comes into your office.
Right.
Okay, you are bringing the client in your office premises,
Right.
and that client is coming during their lunchtime.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can take them outside, or
Right.
sometimes they are coming in. You order the food from outside.
Right.
So that's called business promotion.
Got it.
Okay, so that particular food will not be allowed. But on the same side, if you have employees meeting with them,
Then it's 50% allowed.
then you can put in the 50% bracket.
Okay, so I have a question on promotion, since you said. So my sales team, I give them a certain bucket to take the clients out,
Okay.
right? It's part of a business, because we are talking business during that. We're talking business during that meeting, right? So the sales team has an allowance given because they travel and they take clients out and they talk about business and see to leverage. That's a part of how we do business. So is that also going to be classified now as a 50%?
Okay.
Or?
If you are giving for the sales team, so the moment it comes part as a sales team, it's a business promotion.
Yep.
There's no necessity requirement. So the moment you say it's a business promotion, so it comes under entertainment, it will be fully disallowed.
So we have to reclassify this. So business promotions are completely disallowed.
Yes.
But as part of business necessity, then 50% is allowed.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's the main thing. It is a lot of questions, but
what do you, how do you, we don't have enough time to go into detail, but what is your advice as a closing statement for IT companies like mine? How do we categorize this bucket so that we avail at least the 50%?
okay. Simple thing, if it's part of business necessity,
Right.
you are providing on the office premises, you can take a 50% reduction. If you are taking you for clients or for business promotion, there is no more deduction. And just make sure you start segregating in your accounting, one line 50% reduction, unallowable.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you for your time. I know we don't have enough time. I have a lot more questions to ask about this, maybe at a later point. But I appreciate you coming out today and clarifying some of the questions I have, our viewers have, especially IT companies and specific to the tax reforms and meals and entertainment.
Okay.
Appreciate your time,
Thank you.
Vikas. Thank you.